Level 0 Extraction is a game that I'd like to show you before I talk about it. It has a certain vibe to it. A little bit of Aliens, maybe a little bit of The Thing. There's a whole laundry list of things that Level 0 Extraction is like, and this was immediately apparent as soon as I loaded up the game's recent closed beta. People love extracting from things nowadays. You can do that here. People like asymmetric horror multiplayer, sometimes, and that's here too. But there's nothing wrong with retreading a creative path as long as you put some spin on it to justify your existence, same as with a Hollywood remake or a YouTube thumbnail. And Level 0 is most strikingly distinguished from its peers by its use of light. You play as either a mercenary scavenger on a recovery mission, or a light-sensitive alien horror with a familiar moveset and an unquenchable thirst for broken flashlights. The setting is the classic sci-fi horror genre staple of a top-secret science facility where things have gone horribly wrong. The humans generally want it to be light, the aliens want it to be dark. Simple, but immediately understandable, and your ability to navigate the various ways the game shifts between the two determines the outcome of most rounds. The facility is running on a spotty backup generator, so while most rooms have recharging lights, the generator will occasionally fail completely and need to reboot, plunging the facility into non-negotiable darkness.
Attention, critical overload, backup power failure.
At which point it's down to the tools you've scrounged up or brought in with you to ward off the alien menace. Things like flares or flashbulb traps are effective countermeasures, but nothing in Level 0 lasts forever, and every blackout and attack will eat away at your supplies until eventually you may just find yourself standing at an extraction point with just a flashlight and an axe. Which isn't impossible to make work, but in my experience is not exactly ideal. Just in case your objective wasn't already clear, every round as the humans starts with an extremely loud reminder from an off-brand Patrick Warburton.
Listen up! You're at the South Pole Research Facility. Take everything that's valuable and find a way out of this hole. Listen up! You're at the South Pole Research Facility. Listen up! Listen up!
By the end of the demo period, I still found that pretty entertaining, so no notes, A+. Humans navigate between the facility's two buildings recovering goods. Each building has multiple floors which you can move between using stairs or the elevator if you're stupid. Meanwhile, the aliens have the added option of cutting through the facility's air ducts. Once you're satisfied with your haul, or just running for your life, your options for extraction range from elevators to zip lines to slightly smaller elevators to scaling a sheer cliff face. Each extraction type requires that certain conditions be met. Specific tools, a weight threshold, or the value of goods in your inventory can make the difference between a safe getaway and a dead end. Despite the thematic limitations of the setting, there are a nice assortment of unique environments to explore, unified in the overall design, but with visual distinctions that keep everything from blending together. Also, you may have noticed the drones floating around in some of these shots. If you die, you lose everything except for the contents of the safe pocket of your backpack, but your team can keep going and possibly escape. And if you choose to stick around, you will be resurrected as a helpful drone companion for your team. Drone players can flip switches, check the map, ping, and use a rechargeable flashlight to provide assistance. For all their helpful features, however, the drones are fragile and extremely susceptible to the aliens' EMP powers, so if your team is attacked, odds are it's going to look like this, then sound like this, and you'll just have to wait to respawn and witness the outcome. Ultimately, you are still a glorified spectator, but the interactivity that is there adds a lot to the experience. What else? Oh right, the landmines! Aliens aren't the only hazard you'll have to contend with. The facility itself pushes back as well. The halls are populated with ominously beeping proximity mines and machine gun-toting robots that move slowly and make noise, yet somehow still manage to consistently sneak up on me and my team. And let me tell you, everyone's all buddy-buddy until the bullets start flying, and then they close a door in your face. This guy was a great teammate. He went on to help me escape, but I saw what happened. That was messed up. There are also other smaller hazards like steaming pipes and sparking wires, which don't do too much damage. But last time I checked, death by 1,000 cuts is still death. No matter how stealthy you try to be, the placement of these hazards is dense enough that it's only a matter of time before you need to make some sort of sound. So one surefire way of keeping track of human players is by listening. The facility does seem to be on the alien side, because their presence actually won't trigger any of the proximity sensors. However, the sounds of their abilities or of them scurrying through the vents is also unmistakable.
Backup power restored.
And the aliens have one other particularly nasty trick up their proverbial sleeves, their own kind of proximity mine, an egg, that when triggered, the eruption causes a commotion and gives away their position, but can even do enough damage to finish off an injured human. I don't like jump scares, but I do respect the place these eggs have as a zone control tool in the human versus alien power dynamic. I also placed enough completely ineffective eggs while I was playing as an alien to appreciate the well-placed ones that got me. And speaking of my blind spots, you may not be able to tell from my footage, but there are actually guns in this game. A few of them, as a matter of fact. From syringe launchers and turbocharged nail guns to military-grade boomsticks. However, one thing that I learned from my time playing is that I am deeply rooted in my non-confrontational ways, and for the most part, the other human players I encountered were either friendly or kept a wide berth. The one gunfight I got in was nail gun versus shotgun at close range, which went about as well as you'd expect. And the ultimate winner of that engagement was my teammate, who was able to get the drop on my killer with only an axe. The guns are fun, and as people get better at the game, they will presumably only become more important, but they aren't a prerequisite for enjoying yourself or succeeding. Things like attachments and special ammunition for guns can be scavenged, but are also available to purchase from a weapons merchant outside of missions. And, naturally, there are merchants for every type of supply. As you recover and sell goods, you gain reputation with these merchants, which then unlocks more options for you to purchase. Some merchants will only take certain types of goods, so if you want to, you can prioritize loot that corresponds with the merchant you most want to level up. One of these merchants sells expensive keycards, which will unlock high security doors around the facility, presumably giving access to better tier loot, but I don't know, because the only time I got a keycard, it was gifted to me by another team, and as soon as I wandered off looking for the corresponding door, I was swiftly disemboweled. There are also genetic mods to tweak your character's physical performance, with trade-offs. Like, do you want to run faster but have your heart rate spike, which reveals your location to aliens, or run slower but for a greater amount of time? These are also lost when you die, so I only had a brief chance to try them. But all of these are things that I'll come back to cover in the future, because I also want to see all the cool stuff on Level Zero's development roadmap. And I do pledge that I will try my hardest to overcome my passive, anxiety-driven playstyle in the future, but I think it is to the game's credit that I still had an awesome time without really getting into the more advanced stuff. Things like the option to come back as a drone or the safe slots in the backpack dampen the harshness of player failures without coddling anyone, and help new players to learn the ropes and feel like they're making at least some progress. I'm the kind of player who gets freaked out and accidentally throws his high-powered flashlight into the dark corner where he just saw an alien instead of turning it on, and I was able to succeed. More than once. You know, it's funny, I didn't even know for certain whether I was going to make a video on this game while I was playing it, but after sitting and thinking about my time in the closed beta, I do see the potential and I think it's worth highlighting. And I think that just about anyone with even a passing interest should give it a try, even if you're a scaredy cat like me. Does Level Zero pique your interest? Liking, commenting, and subscribing helps to get more eyes on these videos, so if you enjoyed it, you can do those things to show your support. But until next time, I'm Jamie. Thanks for watching Standard Gaming. From syringe launchers and oh my god, I can't stop hiccuping.